Okay, let's try this for a third time. I'm going to stop being nice. I'm helping people charge their car because this charge on the left of me doesn't work. But okay, anyway. Hey, welcome to the Treasure Valley Rideshare podcast. I am still Jeremy. This is the third time I'm attempting to record this. And welcome to another bad story. You know, in all reality, this charger next to me doesn't work. And I don't want to see people wasting their time trying to figure it out. They obviously can't read. It says a big old red sign that says unavailable. And I don't know, I guess I'm just being nice, but I wouldn't want my time wasted. So that's why I'm telling them, but damn it. This is literally the third time I'm trying to record this. Okay, I'm going to stop being nice. Let's go through it. So welcome to another bad story. Hey, thanks for tuning in. And, if you don't know already, you could find about 8 or so other episodes on YouTube. But right now I am co-hostless. So I think audio is the next best thing because it's just me. And I don't want it to be me staring into a camera. I find that just weird. Yeah, I'd rather just talk into a recording. I know it's the same thing, but, you know, I'm not a pretty guy or girl, right? I'm an uglier girl. So anyway, not doing the whole camera thing. I'll just do a recording. So we're going to talk about drivers. And just so everybody knows, beforehand, when I ask people, have you ever had a bad experience with ride sharing? I don't tell them I have a podcast. That's not my opener. My opener is, a little bit of small talk. How's your day? Blah, blah, blah. And I say, hey, do you have a rideshare company you prefer and why? And with any of the rideshare companies, have you had a bad experience with the driver? That's how I go about it. And then if they do have a story, like the one I'm about to tell, I say, hey, do you mind if I share your story on my podcast? And I do that because I don't want people lying to me, for a story so they can make the podcast. I don't want that. So anyway, I get this gentleman, Bob, we'll call him Bob. Every male rider is called Bob for the show for obvious reasons. Bob gets in the car and, do the small talk thing, ask him the question. And he goes, I had a bad driver the other month. And I was like, oh, okay. Here in the Treasure Valley, where was it? He goes, no, it wasn't here. He said it was in Twin Falls. I'm like, oh, okay. Well, that's your first mistake. No, I'm just kidding. Twin Falls is a great place. I said, okay, what happened? If it was that bad, what happened? And he says, well, I got in this car and, with the rideshare company and we're doing some small talk and Bob says, I usually ask the drivers if this is their main hustle or if this is their side hustle, right? Because for a lot of people, ride sharing is the side hustle, right? Fun money, whatever. So, Bob says, I asked the driver if this was a main or side. And the driver says, oh, this is my side hustle. And Bob says, oh, okay, well, what's your main hustle? And the driver says, oh, I help people recover from addiction. And I said, Bob, that's a pretty under-glorified job. That's a hard job. I don't see how this could turn into a bad ride. And Bob says, oh, just wait. And I said, okay, Bob, you got me hooked. What happened? And Bob says, oh, okay. So if this is your side hustle and your main hustle, you help people recover from addictions. That's great. So Bob said that they were talking about, the job. And then Bob said there was something about his response that threw him off and made him ask the question who he worked for. And which, again, from an outside perspective, if you do have to ask that question, there is definitely something off, right? If it's like just, hey, how's it going? I do this. Oh, okay, great. But if you're engaging in the conversation and something throws you off, that's probably for a good reason. So Bob says, something the driver said threw him off. So Bob then asks, oh, what company did you say you worked for? The driver's response apparently was, oh, I don't work for a company. I do it all on my own. And I said, okay, Bob, that's red flag number one, let me tell you. It's very possible. I'm not saying it's not possible. It's very possible to have your own business, have all the certifications you need, the history, the experience, the blah, 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 blah. But if you do have all that, I highly doubt you are doing rideshare for a side hustle. And this guy is parking next to me. I told you, I'm done being nice. I got to get this episode. So, oh, it's hot in here. So the driver says, oh, I do it on my own. And Bob said, I was intrigued. I said, well, what exactly do you do to help people recover from addiction? This is all verbatim. None of these episodes are fabricated. None of them are fake. They are all real, 100%. I am not lying. I don't make any of this stuff up. I can't make this up. So I'm going to tell you verbatim what Bob said. So Bob says, well, what exactly do you do? And the driver apparently says, well, I help these people that, I find these people that need help recovering from addiction, and I get them in the car, and I bring them to my house, and then I have a room dedicated to people that are recovering from addictions, and I place them in the room, and I could only lock the room door from the outside. So I place them in the room, I close the door, and I lock it. And I said, Bob, you've got to be fucking lying to me. And he says, no, I 100%, I am not kidding. That is exactly what the driver said. And I said, Bob, first of all, that's not okay, right? You can't just say, that guy right there, I feel like he's recovering from addiction. You just don't do that, right? I said, okay, well, was that it? Like, what else did he say? And Bob says, well, the driver also said, so he closes the door, locks it from the outside, and apparently the driver said, I keep them in there until I feel they have recovered from their addiction. And I said, yeah, Bob, he probably charges them too, and in all reality, that's not helping someone, that's kidnapping them. That's what that is. And then if he asks for money, that's called extortion. Kind of same thing as my other episode. But this is on a far much worse scale. So you just don't do that. That's not okay anywhere. So if you are that driver, which I'm sure one day you will hear this, what you're doing is not okay. You and the other driver, you guys probably know each other. So what you're doing is not okay, man. And this guy's trying to cop my fucking style. Hang on. Does it work like that? Okay. I don't think it does, but yeah. That guy's kind of an asshole. So, wow, this guy totally just tried to take the other side of my charger. And I said, hey, man, I don't think it works like that. He goes, well, we're going to find out. I'm like, okay, I try to help you, because I have to click go on the charger, then the charger grays out because it's being used. So, anyway, so then, therefore, he can't use it, right? 1 + 1 is 2. But for some people, it's 3. Yeah, that's not okay in any state, right? You can't just assume people are recovering from addiction and say, hey, I think I can help you without any... I mean, you can, right? Especially if they're willing. If they say, yeah, you can kidnap me and all that crap. Sure. Maybe on some level. But as soon as they want to leave and they feel that your services are over, that's what it is, right? But Bob made it sound like this driver was like, no, I keep them in there until I feel they are recovered. Oh my gosh, on so many levels, that is the wrong attitude. So I said, okay, Bob, so he tells you this. What happened? He goes, well, after he said that, I did not say a single word, and it was a very, very awkward ride. And I said, yeah, because he might think you're recovering from addiction, Bob. Like, you say something wrong, and this guy's like, hey, are you recovering from addiction? And, you might get him bricked up. You said, yeah, it was a very awkward rest of the ride. We didn't speak to each other. He dropped me off, and that was that. I said, okay, did you report this guy by any chance? And he goes, no, I didn't. I was like, well, you probably should have, man, for sure. Nothing happened specifically to you, but he openly admitted that he's taking people. Not okay. Yeah, not okay, not at all. So that was pretty wild. Like I said, on so many levels, that is 100% not okay. So, like I said, if you are that driver, or if you are dabbling like the driver in the other episode, extorting people, telling them give me more cash, or like this driver, you're kidnapping people thinking that they need help recovering. That's not okay. You should probably just turn yourself in. Yeah. Because that's not cool. And I don't think any of the listeners would appreciate what you're doing, right? So anyway, thank you for staying tuned. I am still looking for a co-host. So if you know someone who likes to talk and ask questions and who's kind of interested in this stuff, I'm in the Treasure Valley in Idaho. Tell them to hit me up on Spotify or YouTube. And like I said, subscribe to the YouTube channel. I'll be on Spotify for now. When I get time, I'll upload these ones to the YouTube channel. And thanks for listening.